Bora, welcome to another episode of This is Sevens. After being involved in the game for the best part of 10 years, I think the World Series is a perfect breeding ground for young 15s players.
Treharne's got serious pace into the 22.
And the doctor is in the house.
Firstly, I don't think every position in 15s suits the development in 7s. The obvious ones would be the front 5. I don't think the skills they need in 15s particularly cross over in 7s. The second group would actually be the halfbacks, which might surprise some people, but the skill they really need to develop is game management and understanding that's very specific to 15s. So that leaves us with the back row and outside backs. Specifically for these positions, they'll have more chances throughout a season to really practice and develop these skills, whether it's during training or within a weekend of games. It could be passing at high speed off both hands, one-on-one defence in space, attacking from a kick, jackling after a positive tackle, the list goes on. It's all very comparable to what these positions would do in a game of 15s. A game of 7s really puts pressure on a player's skills. You often have to perform them at high speed, under fatigue, under massive amounts of pressure, where small mistakes can lead to tries. Everyone needs to be able to perform all these skills in a game of 7s, so it really produces well-rounded players. As the last point on skills, think how many times you'd see a winger touch the ball in a game of 15s. In a game of 7s, they'll pretty much be involved in every single attack in play. They can work on their sidestepping, their speed, and their ability to finish a try. You can't hide from it, 7s is physically and mentally tough. It's played at a much higher speed than international 15s, so the training has to reflect this. If you can survive the training, then you're welcome with jet lag, as you often have to travel long distances around the world for tournaments. Once you're over the jet lag, then you're ready to play 6 games in a weekend. This is not only a massive physical challenge, but also a challenge to be mentally ready for each game when you're tired. You will be tired. And then you'll have to do it all over again the next weekend. You'll really get the chance as a young player to find out what you're made of if you can make it through a full season of 7s. This is normally where someone will jump in and say, but Luke, with all this training, I'm going to lose all my weight for 15s. I actually think it's the opposite, and it's a great chance to get in the best shape of your life. Firstly, you're not playing every single weekend, so you have plenty of time to physically develop as you're not recovering after games. You can literally gym most of the year. Secondly, the amount of food that's supplied at tournaments is more than enough to maintain or increase your weight. Buffets are run at least 3 times in the hotels in tournament weeks, and if you can get your diet right away from this during the training, there's no reason you can't be in the best shape possible. Most boys who lose weight in a 7s program either don't get their eating right or they're losing fat. This means that you could actually become the most efficient you've been as an athlete. If you need any more evidence on this point, just have a look at some of the players on the World Series, not only how big, but how athletic they are. The first time you run out of Hong Kong 7s on a Friday night, your bones are literally rattling. I personally think it's good for a young aspiring player to feel this. Apart from being an absolutely amazing experience, it will really show how they handle pressure on the big stage. And that's exactly what the World Series is, a big stage. It's tough, high pressure rugby played against very skillful, very physical men. You get punished when you make a mistake, and you can really see if a young player is going to be able to bridge that gap between age grade rugby and men's rugby. On top of this, they can experience some massive sporting events like the Commonwealth Games, World Cup, or even the Olympics. It's a great way to learn to be a professional. Often a player that has come through an academy system has been rugby their whole life. So traveling with the 7s is not only an amazing life experience, as we mentioned, but it really teaches them all the aspects of being a professional rugby player. Everything from managing your recovery around training, because it needs to be spot on, managing your food and fluid intake when you're working hard in a hot country, conducting yourself in the right way in a team hotel, taking part in the community aspects, like if we visit a school, managing your emotions when you're stressed and under fatigue. It can be a good ego check for a young player. You are going to get beaten, you are going to feel like you're in deep water, and it's learning how to accept and learn from those mistakes. Even as simple as having to pack the right things to take away on a trip. There are so many ways they would be tested as a young player on the 7 circuit. If you can survive a year on the World Series, I firmly believe you'll be a more skillful player, stronger mentally, better physically, and more professional. These are just some of the 7s players who are now playing 15s, who have spent a decent amount of time in a 7s program. James Davis, Alex Cuthbert, Rhys Webb, Rhys Patchell, More recently, Owen Lane, Luke Morgan, Sam Cross, Justin Tipperick, James Hook, Thomas Williams. I'm not saying sevens is the only reason these lads have done so well in 15s, but it's definitely played a part in their development. And there's so many more we've missed out who have gone on to be top-class regional club players, but you get my point. A quick caveat to it being a successful sevens programme, I think you need the young players to be in for at least 6 months, ideally a year. You need a good backbone of the squad being experienced sevens players, and this will give them enough time to learn the game but also get physically ready. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts or opinions, drop them in the comments below. And as always, I just done it like. If any thoughts or opinions, drop them in a comment below. And as always, a like and subscribe will really help us grow the channel.